I'm going to share the screen real quick. All right, so we're looking at idioms, and that's an expression that doesn't exactly mean what the words say. An example, she spilled the beans. It doesn't mean that she had a bowl of beans and they fell all on the floor because she spilled it. It just means she talked too much and told the secret. That's an example of one. So it's taking words and making a new meaning for them together, not what they mean when they're just by themselves. So I'm going to go to a different share. We're going to look at a poem. All right. It's called Piece of Cake. And I'm going to read it out loud to begin with, and then you're going to help me out with some of the stuff on it. So be thinking of idioms while I read this, all right? Piece of cake. It will be a piece of cake, they said, but they just wanted their bellies fed. The recipe was a mile long, and I didn't want to get it wrong. This birthday cake needed to be a showstopper with 3 flavored layers and a flashy topper. The list of ingredients really made me think. It included everything but the kitchen sink. With my apron tied, I began at a snail's pace. What messes, what problems might I face? I measured and poured, mixed and filled, creating a painting on the floor of all that I spilled. Into the oven, a 30-minute wait. The aroma filled the air. I hope it tastes great. Cooled and decorated, on the counter it stood. I did it. It's finished, and it's finger-licking good. All right? So, I got to get blue out. Reading my directions. I have it out of the sight where it's not distracting you. And we have verses. Verses are kind of like paragraphs. This is verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, and verse 4. So it tells us to look at verse 1. And with blue, I need to underline the idiom phrases in it. Idiom phrase means a group, a phrase just means a group of words that doesn't make a complete sentence. So in this first verse, can someone tell me something I need to underline in blue that is an idiom?
The recipe was a mile long.
Recipe was a mile long. Would a recipe to make something be really a mile long? That would be that a piece of paper would stretch like from our school all the way down. Let's see, so what's about a mile? About a mile would be almost like where Food Line is. Would there be a recipe that is that long?
Maybe.
I wouldn't want to have to put it in a drawer or carry it because that would be a heavy piece of paper. There would never be a recipe that is that long. So that's just saying it was a long recipe, but not a mile long.
My mom learned a recipe, and it was about like a long time to make.
Yeah. Well, this is talking about the piece of paper where all the directions are on it.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have one that would be as long as it was from our school all the way down to Food Line. That's way.
No, not that long.
Yeah, that's what a mile is. That's why I'm trying to tell you how long a mile is. It could be long, but it wouldn't be really a mile long. All right. Are there any other idioms in this first verse? I see one more, and we've talked about it.
Miss Nazar, your internet is frozen. Like you're just so glitchy. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, we were told that with this windy weather that might happen. Okay, so you just let me know when it happens to you. Ask it again. There's another one in this verse that we've talked about before. Someone tell me what it is?
What did you say?
There's another one in this verse. What's the other idiom? Am I still freezing up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We have a
guys.
security camera in our front yard, and it's the wind sensing the movement.
Yeah, it's just the weather, I think is what it is. Okay, we're looking for one more in this verse. Let me try some.
I think I know it.
What is it?
On the first line, it says it'll be a piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Even though in the poem it's making cake, but that's not the meaning of what it means here. Okay, what does it mean when they say it will be a piece of cake?
It will be so easy.
It'll be very easy, yes. Okay, now it says for me to get red. So now I'm going to do red, and we're to look in verse 3. 1, 2, 3. So, with my apron tied, I began at a snail's pace. What messes, what problems might I face? I measured and poured, mixed and filled, creating a painting on the floor of all that I spilled. You may give me an idiom in that one?
This
Can y'all hear me now?
no.
I can.
I can too. I can.
Okay. Let's try.
I can.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to go with just 2 lines at a time. With my apron tied, I began at a snail's pace. What messes, what problems might I face? What idiom is in those lines?
I began at a snail's pace.
At a snail's pace. What does that mean if it's not really going as slow as a snail really goes, but what does it mean in the figurative way, not the literal way of going as slow as, but the figurative meaning of a snail's pace?
It means that you're going kind of slow.
Yeah, it means just take it easy and slow. Okay. All right, now let's look at the next 2 lines. I measured and poured, mixed and filled, creating a painting on the floor of all that I spilled. What might be the those in those? Anybody got another clue of an idiom in those?
Creating a painting on the floor.
Yeah, creating a painting on the floor. Is he really down there drawing a picture with all the things that they spilled?
No.
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 Making it sound like they were doing. Okay. Now I've got to get green. Okay, we're going to look at the last verse. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the oven, a 30-minute wait. The aroma filled the air. I hope it tastes great. Cooled and decorated on the counter it stood. I did it. It's finished. It's finger-licking good. Anybody got an idiom in there?
Finger looking good.
even a saying for one of our fast food restaurants.
KFC.
Yeah,
KFC.
they say that their chicken is finger licking good. It doesn't mean that every time you eat it, it makes you lick your fingers. What does it mean to be finger licking good?
That is good.
Tastes really good, yes. Okay. There's another one in this. Anybody got another one? This one's a little bit different. The aroma is another word for smell. So could I say the smell filled the air?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's not like the air is getting full and we see it being filled with a smell. Aroma is a good smell, a way of saying something is a good smell. All right. So we've done that part. Now, I have questions. You're going to help me answer them. So let me get, let's see, I've not used pink. I'm going to use pink. And I have to move your faces because you're covering up the questions. Number 1 says, which word below is part of an idiom phrase in the first verse? So I've underlined those phrases. You just got to find the word. Is wrong, mile, fed, or said been underlined? Which one of those did I underline in the first verse? In blue.
Mile.
Mile, right there it is. See mile where I've underlined it? So we'll color in mile. That's a dark pink, isn't it? What evidence from the text supports the word you chose in 1A? So here's mile. We chose that. Which one of these helps us find it? It will be a piece of cake, they said. The recipe was a mile long. The birthday cake needed to be a showstopper, or really made me think. What did we underline in 1A for that to be in it? Which one of these did we underline in blue?
Piece of cake.
The A, B, C, or D? You're on the right track, but just tell me what letter to color in.
A.
A, because there is. Now, wait a minute. We did mile right here. Do you see mile in that anywhere? The evidence needs to go with what we chose. So which one has something that goes with what we chose? That is in the first one.
B.
It doesn't relate to mile. Which one relates to mile?
B.
B, the recipe was a mile long. It even has the word mile. So you got to look at what you're looking at and make sure it matches up. See, this 1A and 1B go together. And then we got 2A and 2B that go together. Now we're going to be looking at, it says the last verse. So we're going to be looking at what we underlined in green for this one. Are you able to see the green paragraph on yours?
Yes.
Okay. All right. 2A. Which word below is part of an idiom phrase in the last verse? So you're looking at green. What word is in our green underlined phrase for idioms?
Finger.
So A, B, C, or D?
A.
All right. A, finger.
But there also is aroma.
There is aroma. Okay. So, we got to hold off. I'm going to do a slash line because I don't know which one it is. Then let's go look and see what we have under 2B that might help us know which one it is. What evidence from the text supports the definition you chose in 2A? Into the oven, a 30-minute wait. We didn't even underline that, did we? It's finished and it's finger licking good. Now we did underline that one, that part of it. And a flashy topper. That's not even in this verse. And I hope it tastes good is not even in this one. So which one of these down here would go with either finger or aroma?
Finger.
So we've got finger down here, don't we? So I think they mean for us to look at that one and have that one as our choice. Don't you think?
Yes.
So sometimes if you're not sure about this one, go to the next one and it kind of gives you a hint of which one you should have done. Okay. Now, let me get 3 to where it comes up to where you can see it. What does the idiom phrase snail's pace mean? Does it mean A, going quickly, B, making a mess, C, doing something very slowly, or D, eating snails?
C.
C, doing something very slowly. Yeah. Because if I take the phrase up here with my apron tied, I began at a snail's pace. With my apron tied, I began going quickly. With my apron tied, I began making a mess. With my apron tied, I began doing it very slowly. Or with my apron tied, I began eating snails. Now, some of those would make sense in that, going quickly, but if you want to do something and do a good job at it, would you do it fast?
No.
This is like
No.
trying something new. When you're trying something new, you take it slow to be careful, don't you? This is something that person has never done before. So we looked at idioms in a poem called Piece of Cake. All right. I'm going to stop the share. And that's all I had for this lesson. Let me do the stop the recording.